Jason, I'm gonna make you. You told me not to do this. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Hmm.
Um, AirPods Pro 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all that. So I know
Well,
you told me
so
not to make you want to upgrade, but
you just reminded me too, before Wendy left for her doctor's appointment, she said she's going to give you her review of the Beats next week. So she didn't
oh,
really get to play with them. They came in the
excellent.
day we got on the ship. So she took them to the doctor's office. She's going to use them all week, and she's going to let you know what your recommend if your recommendation was a good recommendation. But we had kind of talked about it. We had decided on those before. You
Yeah,
just found a deal for us, which was an awesome deal, by the way.
yeah. I
Really,
mean,
really good deals.
Wyatt's got two pair of those and
Yeah,
loves them, right? And there's still something to be said to not have the little stems pointing down, but they don't have all of the Apple fancy stuff. But here's the thing:
yeah.
I didn't expect. I expected feature upgrades. I did not expect audio upgrades on the AirPods Pro 2. Right? I
Okay.
knew that they were getting the adaptive audio, the conversation awareness. I turned that off, by the way. It's not good. Um, it would
Really?
drop the
Okay.
volume, but it wouldn't return back to normal quickly enough. My
Yeah.
grandkids could trigger it, like I trigger it. I was out in the hammock and they're running around screaming and stuff, and it triggered
Right.
it. I've heard one podcaster say it triggers when he's brushing his teeth. And
Right.
then
Right.
the kicker for me is I sing along to music, especially if I'm out walking and riding. And the first time I did it, it dropped the volume, and I went, "Oh, nope, nope."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
conversation awareness is off. Now the sound is better. There's a noticeable sound upgrade from the AirPods Pro first gen. Noticeable
Okay.
sound upgrade, but that adaptive audio and like on one of my walks, a dump truck came by and it raised the volume so I could hear
Oh,
better. And when I'm out on my bike rides, if there's a truck starting to come, I can hear the truck starting to come and it starts to make some adjustments. And I think there's some refinement they can do,
right. So I
but
didn't know it raised the volume too. I thought it just lowered it. So
well, it's
yeah.
supposed to, that adaptive audio in theory is supposed to make the loud noises you don't care about. Remember
Hmm.
the jackhammer, right? Is supposed to make
Right.
that go away so you can hear more clearly. So it could be just isolating those noises and not raising the volume. And I don't know that I would be able to tell the difference, right? Because
Right.
it still sounds louder because when you first hear the truck, you hear the truck, right? I mean, I could hear the
Yeah.
dump truck coming, and then all of a sudden it's adjusted and I could hear my music the way I needed to. So I like that. But there's a quality update on that there. So I think it's they're definitely worth considering um when you're ready for the upgrade.
Okay. Yeah, I think I am ready, and it's one of those things where, like, I look for any and every issue that comes up with these things, the issue you fixed earlier, where one was connected and one wasn't, and it happened to me, but it was because it didn't go back in the case
Right.
properly and it was completely dead. That happened several times, so I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go ahead and upgrade, and then the problem goes away, and they still work fine. So
Well, I'll tell you, I think the Prime Day deal right now has them $50 off. So the same price I paid at Best
okay,
Buy. So,
okay, I'll look into that. But I do. I'm gonna keep a close eye too on these beats too because they sounded awesome when we were setting them up for it. They sounded really good.
yeah.
So we'll see.
Oh, and mine got a better seal. Whatever minor design change they made between 1 and 2, they
Right.
seal better with the exact same ear tips.
Okay.
So, anyway.
Okay. May have adjusted it quite a tad bit. So
All right, we're running long. Just two other real quick things. You know, we talked about that personal voice. I had mentioned that I had hoped the beta would get stable enough before my mom passed, so I could
yes.
have had her do this. I set mine up. It is, you can tell it's me,
Okay.
but the inflection and the changing the, your cadence and that kind of stuff, it's a robotic version of me.
Right.
Right? And I don't know how I would ever use it. I've got one of my back taps set to launch it. And so basically you do that and you type it in and then it reads off whatever it is. It's like on Top Gun Maverick when Val Kilmer is using his computer to talk. right? He's typing on the computer and then it's speaking. It's kind of what it
Oh
does.
yeah,
But
sort of like that.
yeah,
Stephen Hawking's kind of thing.
I'd like them to integrate it into other places, right? Let me type in a message and say send to Jason as my personal voice,
Yeah,
right? So I can
that would be
type the
cool.
whole, yeah, so stuff like that. But that was pretty cool. I would recommend everybody go in and set it up. You never know, right? You
Yeah,
never know if something's going to happen. And you know what I was thinking of from my mom? I thought it'd be really cool, like on my siblings' birthdays, to be able to send them a quick note in my
yeah.
mom's voice that said happy birthday or something like that. So go set it up.
So how robotic does it sound though? Because like you said, you can still tell it's you, right?
Yeah.
But it just it's missing the inflections and stuff. And remember, Siri was the same way, and then Siri improved. Is this something you think that would be improved in the
I
next few
think
years?
so. I'm typing right now. Let me hold this up to the microphone and see if you can hear it.
Okay.
Here, Jason. Let's see if you can hear this.
Yeah. So it does sound robotic, but I can definitely tell that it sounds a lot like you. So I do like it. It's about the quality that I would expect
Yeah, I mean, it
currently in this
sounds
version.
better than I thought it would.
Yeah.
And it does take the 15 minutes to go ahead and set it up. I sat here in my office at 11:30 at night, which is when I remembered I wanted to do it. Read all
Yeah.
those phrases, took about 15 minutes, and then you let it sit. And when I woke up in the morning, it was ready. So it did take
Okay.
all night, and some people have said it can take longer. So just plan on it, and it's all processing
Okay.
on device. I was able to go in. I didn't realize you could do this, but it's now shared with all my devices, so that same personal voice exists on all of them, and you can
Okay.
set up more than one. So the other thing I thought about doing was setting up. They don't have support for multiple languages yet, but I thought about maybe trying to set up a Portuguese one, just
Yeah.
instead of reading them in English, reading them off in Portuguese. But I would just go set it up. You just never know. I mean, if something unexpected happened and your whoever's left behind has your phone and could do that, that might be something they like, right?
Yeah.
Is to go in and be able to hear your voice again. So it's worth the 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then finally, I did upgrade to Sonoma. It's fine. I'm glad everything is on the latest. I tried setting up a couple of widgets, and one of them, you know how you can put widgets on your desktop from your phone? Well, I tried setting up my to do one on there. It's just,
Mhm.
there's too much latency for the updates and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I've turned them off. There's just nothing that really impacts or interests me. The messaging stuff is fine, the extra, all that kind of stuff, fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not using any of it. It's stable. Nothing broke. There you go. Upgrade.
Yeah.
It's nice to be on the latest.